Okay, it is working.
Okay.
Um, Hello everyone. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Zuhaib Uddin, who has completed the equivalency process and is now working as a dentist in Canada. And I've gotten a lot of responses from people wanting to hear more from people who have completed the process, both for advice and for motivation, because I think we all need a little bit of that now. Dr. Zuhaib, if you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself, go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Lucas Salvador and ITDAOC. My name is Dr. Uddin, and I came to Canada like in the year 2013, yeah, I guess. And to be very honest, I started my equivalency process in 2015. So first time I just like wasn't prepared and I tried giving the AFK without any preparation and just as like for fun. And unfortunately I couldn't clear that exam, right? Then I knew like this exam is tough and I have to prepare. But like because being a new immigrant, it was hard for me financially to go through the process and everything. And I decided like this is not the time where I'm like mentally or like financially I'm ready to go through those process. At that time, I remember like it was really cheap exam, like AFK doesn't cost much, and ACJ, I remember the ACS still at that time was like 5,500 or maybe 4,500 at that year, right? Then I started working like as a security guard because I'll be very open with you. I started doing the job like as a security guard, and I used to work for Alberta Health Services like as a. Then I gained some experience and started working as a peace officer with Alberta Health Services. And then I worked like 2 years like full time, and then I saved some money because it was like some good paying job and everything with a lot of benefit. So I worked like 2 years full time, then 10 casual, and I started giving my equivalency process again in 2017. So in 2017 I gave AFK, and because I was based in Calgary from the day one, I landed in Calgary, and I again started preparing in Calgary. I didn't have the luxury to go to like Toronto and anything. So again, one of the biggest hurdle or like a barrier was there was no courses for the AFK, and there was at that time there was no online courses, right? So what we were like, I prepared on my own for my AFK. I still remember I took like off from my job for 3 months, and then at that time I was going to the library spending 12 hours a day, and since the morning at 9 until like 10 p.m. I was studying at the library for the AFK. So in August 2017 I cleared my AFK, and at that time I decided, okay, this part is done, now I'm gonna give my exam continuously because I then the first part, I got through one of my exam, and then I was okay. I'll just like just keep on giving the exam unless either I quit or I exhaust my attempt, right? So again, at that time there wasn't any loan or anything because that's why I had to work at that time for like 2 years continuously to save some money so that I can just give my exam, right? With the family, it's always difficult. So once I clear my AFK exam, at that time there was like Immigration Access Fund, which is now Windmill. So they provided me a loan around 10,000. That was the only loan given, and with like the interest rate was like 4%. So they provided me with some loan, which like was helpful in paying my ECJ fee and taking an ECJ course. So again, it was a tough decision whether to go to Toronto for a case like considering my financial resources, it wasn't that much where I could afford to go to another city and take a course and leaving my family here or move to like a different city, right? Which was like big decision. So I decided taking an online course with someone of the, it wasn't like, 1% course, but it doesn't help me anyway. And I failed my exam because, and I was very close in passing my ACJ exam in December 2017, but I couldn't clear. I scored like 71 or 72 for that exam. And I knew like I have no idea about the prescription, how to solve those, how to mark those. And then I decided, okay, it's the second attempt. And at that time, there was only the thing that once you got away with your 3 attempt, you're gonna lose everything, right? So I decided, okay, what I gonna do is like I gonna take the course to Toronto. I went to one of the course in Toronto. I took that course, and at that time I realized the importance of taking a course, right? Because you won't believe when I cleared my ACJ in June 2019, I scored 88, and 88 like when I cleared my AFK, I just barely just got passing marks, but all effort that I had to do, and compared to it taking it a course and where you get all the material and all your like question and queries have been answered, and you can like repeatedly ask a question if anything is not clear. So I realized the importance of taking a course, and I regret those my backward decision of not taking a course, even if I had to take another further loan or like borrowing money from somewhere. That was my only regret why I haven't tried it earlier, because I scored 88, and at that time I thought, oh man, if I would have taken my score for like course for EFK, I would have scored 90 plus, and it could have like paved the way for getting admission into the universities, right? Anyways, in the end I was like, okay, I cleared with the 2 part. Now what I'm gonna do is like go for ACS. So again, the financial part was challenging, and I already exhausted all my $10,000 loan for the ACJ for like moving to Toronto for 2 months, taking a course, and then again coming and giving the exam, right? So 10,000 wasn't much, and once you have to like go to different city, live there in a rent, you exhaust all the money, right? So again, 10,000 for 2 attempts for ACJ, taking a course and living in Toronto for like 2 or 3 months. I exhausted all those money, and then I borrowed some money like from friends, family, using my credit cards, using it to the maximum value like limit. I decided like it was very hard. I moved to Toronto and took a course from prep doctors and for my first attempt, and that was like December 2019. Unfortunately, I couldn't clear it. The thing was I scored 9A, but I got 3 E's. And one of the thing I realized my troubleshooting was very bad, because my amalgam restoration half an hour, I got panic and I was passing the floss. My amalgam filling came out, and I was only like half an hour left on day one, and I was like, what should I do? And I was for 15 minutes just blank standing, didn't knew what to do. And then once the result came in, I knew like all my 3 E's were, I knew that I had made those mistakes. So again, there's no point for like going for viewing or like going for the appeal. I decided to give my exam. Second time, I didn't have a single money to take a course or anything. Again, I borrowed some money to pay the fee for my second attempt, and I just practiced at my home, whatever resources I had. And I used to at that time only work as well. For my second attempt, I used to work at warehouse, also security, and meanwhile I was doing my preparation in just one room, did a small setup. But most importantly, what I was doing is like I was more focusing on troubleshooting, because I had that confidence. I got 9 A's. All I have to work is not troubleshooting, and I work really hard on it. And then I reappeared in like December 2019. And once the result came in, again the result was I got 9A, but this time 2E with 1D. And again, at that time, I remember there was like CIBC line of credit that came in the market, and I applied for that, and luckily I got those. So I had now that money to spend everything for the appeal services, and then I decided to go for the appeal, because one of the things that they give me is like damage to the adjacent team in the project of PFM, and I knew like this is my second time, and I never damage anything. And I was like, why is me? Because second time, if you excessively damage something, it is something you knew immediately that you blew your exam and your exam is gone. But I didn't remember even touching the adjacent team. So I decided to go for appeal. Yeah, and again, the appeal thing was like hard, and then I was spending the money like nothing. I was taking a last minute flight, went for typodon viewing, taking the appeal services from private doctors. Again, it was hard to find someone, instructor. But at that time, I want to mention Dr. Amit helped me a lot at that time, because there was nobody willing to go with me to Ottawa for typodon viewing. And he went with me for typodont viewing. He saw the work and he told me like, this is the first time he's actually seeing what a candidate is saying. So he mentioned me, normally candidate came and say, no, we are passed, but they have their mistake and we see them and we tell them, listen, this is your mistake. And what I realized, Dr. Amit said, like, this is like, wow, after a while, like after 2 or 3 years that he's seeing a candidate exactly saying and what he's saying on the typodont. He said he couldn't even find the damage. So he really feel bad for me. And just we decided to change that thing. And one of the thing is I want to tell you is they gave me E. And every time we heard like a grade change from E to D or D to A, it's just only one grade jump. But in my case, because there wasn't any damage, the only thing was tooth number 1-4 was a practice endodontic teeth. If you take the morphology on 1-4 S12 teeth and normal A5 A teeth, which is a plastic teeth, there's a vast difference in the mesial concavity of 1-4, which I think invigilator at NDB took it as a damage. And once we appeal, so the fairness point, like I mentioned in my previous post with you, where you mentioned my story, I said like NDB process is fair, and I know, like considering nowadays, I know a lot of things are not going your way because of pandemic, because of like challenges that NDB is facing with so much backlog. But fairness by all means is like for this exam, when you go to the ACS, when I challenge this, they exactly agree with me. Then they said there's no damage, no evidence of damage at all. And they changed my grade, they gave me 2 grade jump. Rather than changing my grade from E to D, they change it from E to A, right? Which is exactly, they recognize that there's no evidence of damage at all. And they change it to A, and luckily now it's become like 10 A's and 1 E and 1 D, and I luckily passed. But again, the thing was when I filed my appeal, pandemic came in, and everything closes down, right? So I was registered for June 2020 exam, and I was registered for my 3rd time. I paid my fee, right? I registered for the exam for my 3rd attempt, and I also took a 3-month course in enrichment and vet prep doctor. But pandemic came in, everything closed. I came back to Calgary. Exam got cancelled. I had no idea where the appeal went. I was constantly in communication with the email, and I was getting all the standard reply. Because of pandemic, they are working from home, and as soon as the things resume, they're gonna start working on the dates of the appeal. That was the reply. It was very frustrating for me, right? Then my June exam got cancelled, and I was my register got transferred to the December 2020. So again, I was preparing my 3rd attempt. I started preparing at home with a few friends and everything. We were doing blood checks and everything. And again, I was preparing. I started buying materials for my ACS and everything. So the thing is, I still remember that date, October 13th. I woke up, there was an appeal report email from NDB. And as soon as I opened the request, I just read that there was written in the email, as you have seen, since now you have passed your ACS. And I started jumping. I was shouting, I passed my exam, and I passed my exam. Luckily, just 2 weeks before, even the December exam was cancelled because my preparation was in a full flow. Just 1 week before my appeal, I bought at least $2,000 material because I use all my material. So I bought provisional material, I bought new capsule for amalgam, I bought composite, and then exam got cancelled, and I was so much depressed, and I was feeling the pressure of the 3rd attempt as well because I had been there. But then this appeal result came in October 2013, and the good thing was the date for the DAOC was gone, registration deadline for the DAOC, but NDB was very accommodating to accommodate me for that exam, and they gave me an option to decide within 3 days whether I want to give the DAOC in November. So see, I got my result on October 13 and DAOC was on to November 21. And I called one of the centers at Toronto Toronto. Their like course was, they were like, our course is already started. So I talked to them and they said, just whatever is left, take half of our course. And I agree. I say I'll take half of the course. So immediately at that week, I went to Toronto for 1 week, just attended the ITDAOC course for 1 week, came back and started preparing. And in November, so I even hardly had like, didn't even enough have like a 1 month of preparation, maybe less than that. But still, I managed to clear that exam. And again, I went there and I remember, so people who were there at University of Toronto, their exam got cancelled just a night before the exam. OSCM, I'm talking about SKM, they have to wait then again in 2021 March, right? Luckily for me, everything changed in the appeal. I got the chance. So we cannot like blame anyone. I know situation is like pandemic. It's like nothing in our hand, but what we can do is we're gonna be like key focus, key stay positive. That's my message to everyone. I know we are like all of us are doing the best we can and we could in these circumstances. I agree it's frustrating, but yeah, I would like urge, like I see like your organization is very good and this is like one of the platform that has been there for ITD. So I ask like all the people to speak to this platform and make it your voice, because this is the voice that can like create pressure, at least speak for all our ITD communities that the barriers and the problem we are facing. And we should have a platform so that everybody can listen that, yeah, this is the community, ITDs, they are facing challenges. This is a substantial amount of people who's been waiting to get into the field for their process. It's financially hard. But if you don't speak, nobody is gonna knew about anything that we are facing, and I'm happy. And that's again my whole purpose of sharing my story again today live. And previously, through my post was always to tell you like motivation that you are number one to give you like motivation. Number two, you are not alone. Looking at my story, yeah, some people has like unnecessary, like they feel much more of a like pressure or like a barrier or like fatigue, whatever you gonna call it. But like it's with everyone. This path is never easy. Like what I face, because I know what the third attempt feeling is. I know what it feel like in pandemic, because I was registered for third attempt. My exam got cancelled twice, and when I cleared my exam, I still got a survey that I was like selected to give the exam for in 2021 June. And I told NDB I already like passed. Now I'm licensed scientist, and they say, okay, thank you. We'll make our record updated, right? So those are the things.
You didn't want to do it again for fun?
No, that process is done. I just start gonna again, like I don't want to go like so much like stress. It's been so much stressful, and that's what I realized. Like, and I agree, nobody is like taking that. That is, nobody is saying like this is not stressful. I know how you people are like, what you people are facing, what you people are going through. It is really, really stressful, because I feel it like, and I would say it like everybody, there are so many like people from so many like communities and so many different backgrounds. Everybody has their unique story. This is the beauty of it, right? And it's not like I'm the only one who faced it or somebody else faced more. It's everyone. If you're gonna listen to everyone's story, everybody has gone through a tremendous amount of effort, like stress, struggle, so many things is involved. So yeah, but this is the way to go. We know we are resilient people, and I want to tell you all, we all can do it. So believe me, if I can do it, why not? Because I am as normal as you people. I am not extraordinary. I am like even my student, like I'm just a maybe average student or below average. I even don't rate myself an above average. But you just keep doing your hard work, stay focused, stay committed, and it's just a matter of time. Things will come to you. I know it's stressful, but give your best, show that we are the resilient people. And once you get through it, the life is like pretty much easy compared to what we face. Once you get your license, things will become easier, and you people are gonna enjoy it for sure.
Yeah. So kind of continuing along this line, we think that addressing kind of the mental health situation that a lot of us are going through is important because it's a difficult topic to address. I think there's still a stigma associated with it, and the truth is the process that we go through is genuinely stressful. So thank you for sharing, your honest story and the mental struggles that you face. So do you have any advice for people how to deal with that stress going through the process?
Yeah, talk. Like I would just say, like speak up. You have to speak. One of the thing I see, like because there was certain time where I feel like lot of stress, and sometimes I feel like my nervous system gonna break down. It's gonna explode. But like at that time, I would like try to like to mention like my brother who helped me financially a lot, and there was some friend. There was like my friend who got the license 2 years earlier than me. I think he got his name is Dr. Qureshi. He's again he was with me. He came to Canada with me, but he got the license in 2017. I used to speak to him. He was always motivating me. So one of the thing I would say, don't feel shy. Come speak to your friend, speak to your relative, speak to whoever you are comfortable with. And I think like this organization is giving you a platform. Yeah, you can see like people are going through all the people in this side, like internationally trained dentist organization, all we people are going through the same thing. So we know like everyone, come speak with this organization, or maybe make everybody like friend, make it as a whole family and community. You can speak up. Like I'm always here with this community to like guide you, like because I have been through the process, so maybe I can help with those things. That no, okay, yeah, you are going, but look at me because I have gone through all those. But stay committed, stay focused, because the path that lie ahead, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's not the dead end, it's not everything. It's just matter of time. And believe me, if you compare the stressful, even after becoming a dentist, it's stressful because you have to be careful. You are worried about your license not gonna go by. That stress is nothing compared to what we faced when we were like challenging the equivalency process. There's like, and to be very honest, I never faced that stress even in my whole life. Like even while studying my education, like at dental college, when I was teaching, I have given so many exams because even there back in home, I was doing a specialization in prosthodontic, which I left in the middle. But again, yeah, though that stress is nothing compared to what we've gone through the equivalency process. So yeah, I would say speak up. Maybe it is your friend, maybe it is your family, maybe if you are doing job, people give you coverage for insurance. There's always a certain, they give you a helpline to speak up for your mental health, because that is very important. If you don't speak, you just keep it within yourself, is going to affect you. It's going to affect your performance. It's going to affect your health. And believe me, like giving all those courses, because never in my life I've given an exam that is a 2 day long. And now I feel like I have developed stress for so many things. I go there and I see like my heart is palpitating. So there are like some side effects, and like now I just realize my body has taken a toll on it, right? So my personal health has been affecting. Through that resiliency now, I feel I'm not that strong now anymore to give that exam, because you asked me that you gonna go for that exam for fun, and my answer was no, because I don't want to go through the stressful situation again, right? But again, to get better future, you have to be, and that's why it's mental health is important. You have to talk to it, and it took me a time to realize, because like, believe me, I've been there for 2015, right? So consider 2015, you don't clear your exam. I failed, I lost all my hope. I say I can't do this exam. And then I start focusing on job. And after 2 years, I realized this isn't working for me. I'm not here to do this sort of job. This is not my thing. And then I decided whether to go back or maybe give it a try. And then I haven't even tried. It's not like I failed on I exhausted my all three attempts. Then I was like, let's give it a go again, right? And then I never looked back. Since then, I was continuously giving exam, no matter how. And if you want to look at the positive side, now NDB has come up with an unlimited attempt for ACS within 5 years. And even for people who couldn't like clear it, they have taken a second chance for the equivalency process, right? So if you want to take something positive out of it, there's now another chance. Even those people who have exhausted their third attempt and couldn't clear, now I would say if you gonna take an aggregate percentage, I think 99% of the people will clear the exam, because all you have to do is clear the AFK and ACJ, and I don't think is that anybody exists in this world who cannot do it in 5 years' time. 5 years is more than enough. Anybody, you can make like a robot work, like refine your skills, get everything, and then you're gonna have a personal facility, but unlimited attempt. It's gonna be financially very hard, because I know exam fees is very like expensive, and it's almost got double. I remember when in 2015 when I came, it was like maybe 4,500 or 5,500. Now it's almost double, 9,000, right? But again, the benefit, you have to look through the positive side. Positive side is now you also have like unlimited number of attempts, and you have the resources. Like there's a CABC line of credit. Previously, believe me, there wasn't anything. And even people living cities other than GTA area, now every courses have their center, like Track Doctor, they have center now 4 cities, right? They are running through it like live courses. Even now, because of the pandemic, I think everybody has gone through like online platform. They are running their course live online, so which is good. So you have got like, no matter which part of Canada you are living, you have the resources accessible everywhere, right? So this is like the brighter side. Further back, if you look at 5 years back, ask us people who were not living in GTA area, it was very tough for us. We didn't have that money. It wasn't an easy decision to move to a different city, right? And it wasn't like nobody's offering online courses and everything. We struggle a lot.
Okay, so kind of moving on. Now you're done. You had this great experience of getting that email. You were excited. You passed the certification exams. Now you're looking to find a job. This is a question that we get a lot. The concern that, coming from the equivalency process, it's difficult to find a job. But what was your experience entering the workforce?
Yeah, my experience was really very, very different. So I would say I know there are like certain people who just talk negative about it, right? So I have heard people like, there's no point becoming a dentist, because you will get the equivalency, but you're not gonna earn. When I start looking, I haven't seen anyone who got his license and is not practicing dentistry because he cannot get the job. I haven't found anyone. If any one of you, just please connect with me, because I want to know about it. My experience is different, because one thing is, when I was waiting for version, somebody told me when the Canadian graduate, they are in their final year, they start looking for the jobs. And that thing clicked. Okay, I've given my OSCE, I'm waiting for result. Why couldn't I start finding the job? And I gonna tell them that I've done everything, I'm just waiting for my result, and as soon as I get result, I'm gonna apply for my license. And I started finding it. And so I was like, at that time I was open, so I was like, Calgary is not an area where I just only want to practice, I might try everywhere. So believe me or not, I got 3 job offer before my OSCE result, right? And it was conditional offer, provided I passed the OSCE, and provided once I get my license, they're gonna give it to me. And all 3 were like Calgary based, right? So I gave interview, no doubt about it. So maybe my one interview didn't go well, but I started getting confident. And once I had that job offer in my hand, I was more confident in negotiating the contract the days I want to work, whether if they're offering me part-time, but I'm like more interested in a full-time, or they say they have a full-time position, but I was like, no, I can do only these days and these are the time I can do. So I had that luxury because I had the job offer at the back. So I knew I already had a job offer. So I had that freedom or like liberation in negotiating. So that helped me a lot. Considering because like all together all over Canada, I got 11 job offers, right? And it was like all over Canada because I got job offer from New Brunswick, I got from Nova Scotia, I got from, I think it was New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, from Northwestern Territories, maybe from like Ontario, but it was like another town, Lethbridge, and then there was like few from Calgary and one from Bath. So almost like 70% jobs I applied, I got like somehow ended in getting an offer. And then I just like chose Calgary. So I decided to stay in Calgary and everything. And I had like 3 jobs. And I just select one, so this like helped me a lot. So I would say, what you could do is after giving the exam, just apply, start applying, and just keep yourself open because it doesn't matter where you get your job offer, but if you have a job offer in your hand, you can start negotiating contract. You could see you will have a confidence when you go for interview and they ask you for something and everything. Yeah, you can do it, right? So and it doesn't affect me. And one of the things I would say, because everybody was like, are you comfortable with this procedure? Are you comfortable? What I realize is even the Canadian graduate who like graduate from Canadian University, they are like hesitant in going to like doing performing procedure extractions and endo. So what you can do it like, because all of us have a background experience and we have done dentistry before coming to Canada, we had that experience. So if you have done molar endo, you are like confident in doing extraction, you can say, I had done it, I had that confidence, but it's going to take me a while to understand the system in Canada, right? And ask for a mentorship for maybe a month or maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks time when they ask you for the job offer, because one of the thing I always mention in the CV was I will look for some sort of mentorship because I don't have anyone that work experience of working as a dentist in Canada. So this is one of the skills that I need to learn and how the system work, how the patient flow work over here. So you have to tell me this, and maybe I just need a week or 2 or 3 to understand how you do the procedure, because there are some instruments that are different. You need to understand that work. Again, we have used other system for endo. They're like other, and things are updated in the endodontic a lot. So you need to do, and once you get it, they're gonna provide you mentorship. So where I attended where I joined my thing. For the first 3 weeks, I joined for 5 days a week. For 2 days, I was shadowing the principal dentist and 3 days working on my own. So that helped me a lot. For 2 days that I was shadowing, as well as 3 days I was working, I know what the challenges with my working I was getting. I just started shadowing my principal dentist, see how he does things, and then I have the answer. And I always, after the patient, I ask him how you do this and how you do that. And then again, there was some skills level for like maybe infection, third molar wisdom teeth extraction, and endodontics. So I took the course, and that helped me a lot. And that course, I did my again. It's a time of like getting the experience. First case always is not gonna be the way as you wish. It's gonna be not as nice as you wanna do it, but that's how you're gonna do the cases. Start doing it the right way. You will get the experience well. So I think first month was hard for me, and it was all about getting different cases, because at my back home I never work on PED. Here I had to work on PED, so I was pretty much blank on how to deal with the pediatric patient, right? But again, I worked so much. For my second month, I remember I was only working on peds, right? That gave me confidence. Now I'm comfortable. And secondly, with time, I start expanding my horizon to working in all sort of general dentistry. I started doing endo, I started doing impacted wisdom teeth extraction, I started doing crown bridges, difficult restorations and everything, and now I'm just like doing I already registered for like IV sedation course. That's another skills I want to add, because because I see like I'm doing the extraction and patient are like more likely want to do it in sedation, and you need to have certification for sedation. So I decided to go for IV sedation. And that's another thing. You can always increase your skill, but the main thing is ask for the mentorship when you're doing the job and be specific and clear with them that, yeah, it's been a while, you haven't worked it, but you're going to need some sort of mentorship. And everybody you see the job people need, they say mentorship will be provided because there's a lot of new graduates also who's looking for the job. And most of the like organization or clinics are happy to provide that mentorship. They want to train you certain way and you can find the right fit. And the thing is, even if you join a job, you feel like you are not getting much of it, you are not getting along with them, it's not a good fit for you, you start looking for another one and you can always change and then you can do part-time from there, you start looking for part-time. There is a lot of jobs. So I've worked like a whole 1 long year for that organization now because I moved to another area. So it's been a long drive. So I've like cut my hours from there and I've become part-time. And from next Monday, I'm starting another job like 3 days a week. So I'm going to be doing part-time at 2 different places. And the whole purpose of this was like, again, at the other area, I'm going to get like other variety of cases. So variety of cases is also important because you have to like find out and see anywhere where. So first what you can do is you can join anywhere, get that experience, get whatever stress or like you have a like job stress before I went work, learn the system, learn the patient flow now, learn how dentistry and things work in your area or like whatever your province is, and learn that, and then you feel like are you comfortable with those procedures or you want a more variety, you can start looking for it. And again, once you have the experience, the more experience you have, the more job opportunities for you have and you can start looking. I won't say just after every 3 months switch or a job, that's not a good sign for a CV, but maybe work, don't look for the money right straight away. Work with someone for maybe 6, 7 months, talk to him, because the place where I've been working, I was very open. After 9 months, I just talked to the principal dentist. I feel like I need more variety of cases and it's tough for me to come, and when I don't have that many patients, it's hard me to drive like 40 kilometers one way. It's not easy. And then he was like, yeah, you're fine. You're going to start looking for something else. You're welcome. Just look and tell me what days you can work with me. And I say, okay, I work this day. And he was like very open, very good. Another job, I applied. I told them about that. They asked me if I'm comfortable. They contact me, my dentist, like my current job owner or the current clinic, that how I am, like about the background checks and everything. And I say, yeah, you are more than welcome. And they talk to the dentist, and that dentist spoke good about me, and I got that job. So again, just be open, because see, in Canada, what I say, open communication is the best. You don't have to like be political or like hide things. Step or like just be open with your communication. How you feel about things, how you are feeling, what you want, you have to be open, because communication is the key again. If you don't speak up, you're not gonna get what you want. So this is one of the thing, and I think like as an ITD we are lack, and what we lack in is an open communication.
Okay, great. So everyone who heard that, I hope now you have the confidence to know that your job prospects are good when you finish this
another
process.
thing I just want to add, I don't know about like international, but like in Alberta, I was reading their story. So from like 2020 to I think 2024, they do have a shortage of dentists, right? And they're gonna have like more people retiring, right? And more people retiring or moving to like different provinces, and not enough graduate gonna cover those things. So what I studied, and this was like maybe 6 months back I studied, so I think until 2025 they estimate there will be a shortage of, so there will be more job than the dentist produce in Alberta. So again, for like next 5 years, job prospect are good in Alberta. I don't know about the other city, I can only speak about Alberta because I've seen that statistic, but I don't know. You can also like study about the statistic, what it is in your province. I know GTA is pretty much saturated, but other than that, I know there's a good job prospect in Saskatchewan, Northwestern Territories. I still remember there are some companies who, because they have a tremendous amount of shortage in Northwestern Territories and Yukon, Yellowknife Network. So what they offer is like they even provide you with accommodation charges and facility to live. So all they want is they do a contract for 2 years and they say work 2 years with them. So if you're willing to, and they are looking even open for the new graduates, and work with them for 2 years, and then they're gonna accommodate you to in your city at your like preferred location. They can accommodate you in your city after that 2 years. So there are, I've seen like, because when I was applying for the job, there was this type of opportunity as well.
Yeah. Well, I posted the Government of Canada statistics. By 2028, there's a projected shortage of 5,000 dentists in Canada.
Exactly.
And Alberta is supposed to be one of the provinces that's more saturated. So if there's a projected shortage in Alberta, that means that these other provinces are much more
Yeah, because the thing was like what I checked that like a statistic maybe I think 6 months back.
Yeah.
Maybe pandemic gonna affect us, or maybe it's like other people from other province, because I know like Alberta is now a very fancy location where people who are graduating from other province, one of the preferred location is to come and settle in Alberta. So maybe it's that they have considered, but what I'm talking about, it's maybe in like 6-8 months back. And when I saw it until 2025, there's a shortage of dentists in Alberta.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a fact. It can't be denied. So everyone who's watching, there's a job waiting for you when you finish. So
yeah, for sure. I haven't seen anyone getting the license and not getting the job.
Yeah.
Because you see, like if you do odd job, like license fee, practice permit fee, it's like quite a huge amount of fee for just 1 year practice permit fee.
Yeah. So that's okay. So the next big thing that people ask for is specific advice how to prepare for the exams. So you already mentioned the importance of taking a course. You mentioned the importance of troubleshooting, and I'll put that under kind of stress management.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular advice for each of the 3 exams? Do you have any particular recommendations?
Yeah, like for AFK and ACJ, I would say take the statistic from the different courses, people who have taken the course and passed the course, provided if they provide you like a true feedback, right? Because I know most don't. But like if you see, obviously, I would say if you have to select between a course and not taking a course, I would always say a course. AFK, yeah, you can do it on your own, but it's a lot of effort. It's like 10 to 12 hours a day for 6 days a week you have to study. Course will make your job easier because you'll save a lot of time, but you have to spend money for it. For ACJ, I would say it's a big no-no doing it on your own because it's different. There's certain technique you have to learn to it. So course is a must for ACJ. And for ACS, I would say the question depends, like taking a course, it depends on whether you are doing it first time or whether it's your second attempt. So I'll share you my experience. I could be wrong. And again, this is not like an endorsement or anything, but that is what I feel, right? So I'll share my experience. So if it's your first time and you have never practiced, you need a place where you get like a particular schedule and you see everybody, because you need motivation to work through the things, and you haven't touched like a skills component of dentistry for a while. So you need like some sort of facility where you go and you practice and you see other people are all working, right? Because if you're gonna do it on your own, it will be hard. You will not be focused. You won't have that motivation or anything. And number one, if you have spent so much money in the course, you'll go to the center. It's just going back to the schooling thing, and you'll go 6 days a week, and you are following a particular schedule. So whatever you do, you will definitely practicing, and you will start getting interest. Right? First 2 months are hard because I remember when I was at prep. First month I was only doing full metal, right? Then I was worried. And then after 2-1, I was doing all sort of procedure. And then we had a mock, and at least I got some A's. And then I started having confidence, and by the end, I started getting confident. And when I gave my exam, I knew I got 9 A's. And again, I struggled with the amalgam because amalgam came out. I didn't know what to do because whatever I was practicing at Petropt, I never had that problem, right? So my amalgam never came out before, but that's happened in the exam and I had no clue. So second time, if you have money, if you're feeling comfortable with, you can take a course. For me, most important thing is you know that you have done all the procedure, you know how to do it. Now, second time, the more important thing is the troubleshooting. You should know how the troubleshooting. Rather than taking a course, what check is most important thing second time. So you know, you have already taken the course, you know the basics, you know the ergonomics, you know how to cut the procedure. But now it's become most important is like to assess your work. Second time have as many people, qualified instructor or people who have passed your DACS and are doing the work checks, and you have heard good reviews about them, just go to them. Show them work even if you have to pay, right? But show them the work, ask for them the mistake. You can believe me, at second time, I went to 3 or 4 different people to have their perspective. They were not like qualified instructor. They were the people who had passed the exam recently, and I learned a new trick which I never learned in the course. So going to those people who had just recently passed the exam, believe me, they know some really good trick that's gonna help you. And at that time, I would say, because I knew the work, I'm not taking any credit from the first course that I did. All my bases were formed at that course, right? But once I went to for my second attempt, different instructor showing them work, even I had to travel to Edmonton. Even I took like paid 1 or 2 sessions with the professor who was teaching at the university, right? So you can like have them assess and tell them. I learned quite a lot of things, and then I realized, oh, this thing has to be seen at this perspective as well. This you see a all different angle, and that's gonna help you. So first question you have to ask if it's your first time or second time. First time, 100% go for the course. The good thing about the course, you will get a plenty of instructor. But second time, I would rather more inclined toward getting the different instructor because we know one instructor or we know how they do the work check, but maybe adding on the different instructor and specifically those people who had recently passed the exam because they have a lot of trick in their sleeves, which they tell you, right? And it works wonders.
Yeah.
That's all troubleshooting. And most of them, you won't find so many people who have cleared the ACS in first attempt. There are people, but there are not that many. And most of the people, if you go to them, it's either second attempt or third attempt. And because they had that experience going multiple times, they knew some tricks. And you learn different tricks. Then what you can do is you can try and see what works you best. But you have like so many things to work on and so many tricks to learn, and then you can decide. And that's happened with me. Even after getting 9A, I was like, oh, my cutting are good. I got all my PFME and everything else is all good. There's nothing wrong with me. But one of the instructor I went and I showed him, he started giving me D's in full metal and he was always pointing and he was my friend and I was very frustrated. Man, is he crazy? I got AAA in that project. I got 9A's. He's telling me this. And then I thought to myself, listen, this guy has passed the exam. I haven't. It doesn't matter if you got 9A's, 1A, right? In the end, the matter is like, I'm fail means I'm fail. It doesn't matter, right? So I just listen to it. I say, I will do the way he's telling me. And I'll see the result. And believe me, I followed him. It took me 2 weeks to try to do the preparation according to him. Once I did the preparation and look at it, it was very different. My eyes was like, wow. whatever this is. So there was certain, like maybe one or two procedure I learned a lot of like from different people where I see. So again, it's like different perspective. I'm not saying any course is bad, all courses are good, all, but the more people you're gonna go, more things you need. And more people I would say, like, yeah, go into the instructor privately if you are taking a course. I won't say do ACS course for two different sectors. That's not gonna help you, right? So if it's second time you have taken the course, maybe take the course and just add on some instructors, specifically people who had passed the exam. And if you specify, especially if you had heard a good reviews from the people, so just go to them. If you heard somebody's good review, it's mean they are like doing something. You're gonna get definitely something from them. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean you have to go to them weekly. It's just maybe one or two times get your work check assessed. Take things what they are telling, try to do it yourself and see the improvement.
Yeah, I want to continue your point about even ACS specifically about motivation. It sounds like a weird thing to say, motivation being the question, but I think for a lot of people who are waiting for a spot, who've been waiting for years now to get a spot, motivation is a big issue, and the ACS it's difficult, but it can be done. We put the pressure on ourselves to be perfect because when our work is being assessed, we don't want any room for error, any room for subjectivity. So we try to be perfect. But if you
And that's one of the thing that's happened with me. Very good point you have raised, because I'm sorry I'm cutting you in the middle, but the thing is, if you try to make things perfect, that's where you just do the error, right? So one thing I just want to share with you, there's the exactly same thing happened with me when I was doing my first attempt. I was like a perfectionist, try to make things perfect. So all of my 9 A's, I got all three column were A's, right? And I got like 4 or 5 A plus. Like I got A plus in class 3 in Agro as well, right? I got A plus in the rubber dam as well. I was like, oh, I'm like perfectionist, so I'm gonna pass this. But because of we put so much pressure ourselves, in the end, I ended up in making an error. So I would still respect the criteria. One of the professor, I just like took a course, not a course, but I just met with him personally for mentoring and guiding me how to prepare. I just wanna like tell you one thing. So he told me that thing. So you see, you just have to respect the criteria. You don't have to be perfectionist. You don't have to aim A plus, right? Just so he said, like, see, you have to be statistically like a statistician, and you have to be statically prepared as well. So he said, if 9 out of the 10 time, if you are consistently doing a project, 9 out of 10 time ending up in doing an A, it means you are good at that project. You can jump to a project, right? And then he said you have 3 columns. So for particularly, I'm talking about ACS. So you have like for every project you have 3 columns. So he said, prepare it like that. Use your time wisely. Don't try to make it perfect, but rather than make sure you finish at least 2 column A and 1 column not less than D, because there will be some time you will have some trouble or you will struggle with time, but you should know what 2 column like you can easily achieve A and what 1 column you can leave at D. It doesn't mean to say like prepare all project like just 2 column A and 1 column D. He said if there's a chance, always aim for all column A, but you should be like once you are like doing your work check or you are like doing assessing yourself, so your assessment should be that good when you are finishing it. So make sure there, like even if you are like compromising any project because of time or any other trouble, make sure you got 2 column A, 1 column not less than D. So this was 2 column A, 1 column not less than D. It didn't say D, not less than D. So this is one of the things that gives me like professor motivation statistic. Another thing is check the NDB technical report. NDB issues technical report on their website for all the last exam. and they give you like what are the percentage of the procedures people got A, D, E for all the procedures. And you're gonna realize, so those statistics shows you what procedures are difficult one. Because you see there are certain procedure 90% or 80% of the people get A. So you know like 80% of the people statistically perform well on the, so it means it's easy. But there are certain projects where you're gonna see 40% or 45% of the people ended up getting an E. So you should first mark those procedures. You know these are the difficult one because on ACA there are certain procedures that are unpredictable, like provisional, like class 4. No matter how hard you do, some smaller mistake can like ruin your project. Amalgam, you can do like amalgam. I never had problem in the exam. First time I faced that problem, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't knew what to do because I never had that problem. So that's why if you're gonna be like, don't be perfectionist, but rather fulfill the criteria. That's one of the things.
Yeah, and it's the little details that can make the difference. It's
Exactly.
like provisional, leaving excess. There you go,
Exactly.
straight E. The composite projects, excess. You lose a column right
Exactly.
there. Unsupported enamel, something
Exactly.
silly like that. Like it's those little details that make the difference, and that's where motivation during practice makes the
Yeah.
big difference because if you're not motivated while you're practicing, you kind of let that stuff go and then it becomes a habit. So that's just the point that I was trying to make.
And one of the thing is like all the people fail the exam. It's not that their coursework is good. I
Yeah.
think there may be only like 2 or 3% of the people who fail like that. Otherwise, 99% of us are well prepared, but it's what you are talking about is smaller mistake because still I'm helping 5 or 6 candidates in Calgary with the word checks and everything, right? I have my, there are like still 5 or 6 people I do have. They are coming and every time I'm telling them, see, or every one of your like gross work is so good, so amazing, but it's like a smaller mistake. You overlook it, you pay the price. So like looking, sometimes I feel bad for them like giving them an E in that project. And I say, see, it's a smaller mistake. You didn't see an excess. Why? Why I have to tell you this is an excess? Why you didn't see at the first place, right? And that's the problem because you are working continuously. You are stressed out. You start overlooking things. There's unsupported enamel, right? And I say, why you haven't removed KDs left? One of the stupidest of the other, right? Why would you leave the KDs? So try to work on those. Yeah, if you want to make anything perfect, make those things perfect. Don't overlook those like so obvious mistake because 90% of the time, believe me, you get failed for these type of mistake. KDs left, you got an E, right? Unsupported enamel left, you ruined your project because of this. Again, access composite, access amalgam, right? Access provisional. And I knew there was one girl asking me to help with the appeal. She took my advice and she thought everything was good, right? And she was asking me, I want to go for the appeal and everything. And I said, okay, did you went for typodon viewing? And she said, yeah, she went, but she couldn't find anything. And I said, did NDV send you anything? And she sent me the pictures, right? So that picture shows clearly they stretched the gingiva from the labial mucosa and there was an excess. And I say, if the NDV is like sending you this picture, it's in there's an error, there's no way we can overturn this. How are we gonna prove it? So I say, yeah, if you wanna go, you can go or maybe try looking into other project where we can change, but this thing not gonna change. And she agrees with me. And I asked her, you didn't and she was like, somehow I don't know how she forgot it. And she told me like in the course she never had that problem. So there's again a small mistake, right? So this is one of the things you have to be mentally focused. Mentally you should be healthy before going to the exam. Because again, that time is also very important. Going before the exam is very stressful. So I would say maybe 3 or 4 days before the exam, maybe 1 week. I'm sort of people who is like of the opinion that 1 week before the exam, keep your books away. Don't prepare anything. Try to relax, watch movies. Try to keep yourself calm and relaxed so you can focus on the exam day. Because even at the last minute, you start thinking about the exam, talking about procedures, maybe practicing, you are ruining your thing because you are over improvising thing, and that affects the performance on the day of exam. You don't want that. You want to go. I know it's stressful. I knew like I've been there twice, and at both of the time my heart was like, well, I was feeling palpitation, everything. First time it took me like 45 minutes to get used to of the exam environment. Second time it was like a straight 25 minutes. I was feeling nervous, right?
Yeah.
So again, don't do a stupid error. One scenario I'm gonna tell you is like when I was giving my exam second time, there was a student who like it was setup time. He did the impression and he left the impression of provisional at that and went to the washroom. Invigilator came, they saw it, head instructor comes here, this is a violation, noted down, right? He came back, nobody just told him about that. But they took the pictures and everything. That's what happened in the appeal. And then you say, oh, you haven't done. Because the exam start time was 8:30 and at 8 o'clock, he just put the impression material on the typodont and left it and went to the washroom and exam wasn't started yet. And then they came and said, oh, listen, you just throw it away because it is not allowed. They even didn't told him. And once I knew like that was a violation and it's like it's a violation for like considered as cheating, right? So I don't know what happened with that guy. Maybe his result was what he had the hearing with the NDB, why he did that, right? So these are like stupid. I know it's like because of this stress, nobody meant to do this, but you have to be that's why relaxed mentally. Because I knew he was doing everything good, nobody told him, and he just made a like so stupidest of the mistake, and that's what happened, right? You don't want that.
Yeah. No, I
So
think
that's mentally relaxing before the exam is very, very important.
it's the most important point that no one talks about. No one performs at their best when they're stressed. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care how good your work is when you're practicing. If you panic, you're gonna make mistakes.
For
So, and the person who maybe their work isn't as good, but they're relaxed, they'll do well.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's why we're trying to push this kind of mental health stress
Yeah.
management.
And again, it's a skill exam, but it's not a skill exam. What I mean to say is this, yeah. So having like, let's say if Luca is having a better skill set, it doesn't necessarily mean he will pass the exam, right? In the end, it's the matter of how I control my stress on the day of exam. How is my stress management on the day exam? Because on the day exam and the day of exam, that's what's matter, right? So you have to be very like, you have to find out ways how you're gonna manage your stress. And I would I would also think like the courses should introduce this, how to stress management as part of the course, how to do it. There would be some mock exercises where you will be put in certain situation and how you come. Because that's what I feel like my work was good and my skills was a lot better than other, and I've been giving recommendation to go for the exam. I would pass the exam, my work is good. And I knew like 2 or 3 candidates whose work was not good and were constantly getting E's. They passed the exam first time and they wasn't even practicing. So then I realized it's just the troubleshooting part, is the panic. And I told you like earlier, I got panic when the Amalgam came out. 15 minutes I just wasted just standing blank. I don't know what to do because I was looking at the clock, half an hour, and I was thinking how I gonna manage Amalgam in half an hour.
Yeah.
I ended up getting an E.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it's an important point that I hope everyone picks up on.
And second time, I have that confidence. I have that confidence in me. I know my assessment. Even I got an like E, I knew I haven't touched the throat. There must be something wrong. And like everyone was telling me, don't have any hope with the appeal. And I was like, no, I haven't done the damage. How can they give it to me? Right? How can they? And I want a neutral opinion because I know there are some people consciously biased. After failing the exam, everybody feel he did good, but it's like the NDB that like failed you purposefully, and you like you will have noticed how they have to pass a certain criteria. And I call them all that that's not the case. It's like what you do. Right, because ACS is a quite transparent exam. I'm not talking about the other. So the last time, like I knew, like I haven't even touched the throat. How can they say excessively damaged? Because if you excessively, you are the first one to knew about it. And I knew like I haven't touched the throat. How can they give me? And see, that's what happened in the appeal. My grade changed from E to A, not E to D. right? So that's another thing. So there's the confidence, your assessment, that all matter. So one of the thing I would for ACS people, when you are assessing yourself and having a work check, make sure you also grade yourself for the project, and then see what your instructor is like grading you for, and then compare both, and then see why you are not seeing the thing that instructor is giving you, or is there wrong with the instructor. If you feel like instructor is unfair with you for something, go and talk to him, ask him. No, you have to prove, because that's what happening with me. If I wasn't satisfied, I'm talking about the second time, I wasn't satisfied with anyone, I used to argue with the instructor. And I say, it's not about I'm arguing that you have given unduly given me an E, but whole purpose is why my eyes are not calibrated the your way. How would you see that thing that I have missed? So I used to ask them, can you show me why I am not seeing it? Where is that thing? How I would see it? Why I'm just missing it out? Right? And that helped me a lot. And that's what helped me in the appeal, to be very honest. Because I remember people used to say, and I heard like there was not many appeal paths, but I was pretty much confident. And every time I was like confident, I went for appeal, and everybody was telling me, don't rely on appeal. But in the end, that result came, though I wasn't hoping for, because everybody told me there are 99% of the chance that you won't pass it. But in the end, it changes, right? So you have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident enough and calibrate your eyes NDB way. You have to calibrate yourself. Why you are not seeing that issues, especially for the second timer. If you are like second timer, you had that experience. So that's specifically applied to them, because you have to make calibration to your eyes. Why you are not seeing your stuff when you are finishing it and submitting for a work check, why you missed out those errors. So that's all about like ACS, yeah.
Okay.
And that's like the mental strength coming to in, the more confident you're gonna get once you start seeing things, and once you see you have given yourself A, your instructor is not finding anything. At third time, I would tell you, like there was some instance where I was finishing my work and I knew there wasn't any. And I was at Richmond level for doctor. There was, I think, I don't know, I forgot his name. There are two doctors, they were very like strict with the checking. They spent half an hour to try find an E or D, and they couldn't. And after half an hour, for just one product, they were looking, and they said, good, this is an project. You feel like, oh wow. Because I know they are the hardest of the assessor, and yeah, that gives me a confidence as well and everything. So you have to be like that.
Okay. So I have one last question. If anyone else has questions, please post them in the comments so I can go through them. So we, as an organization, we're trying to reach out to people who have completed the process for stuff exactly like what we're doing tonight. But we find that a lot of people finish and then run away. It's like they don't want to ever see an equivalency exam ever again. And we get it. Like obviously this is stressful, and once you're done, you want to move on. But what would you say to your colleagues who have completed the process? What would you tell them, or how would you encourage them to, get involved with what we're doing?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, at least come out for those who are just waiting for the project. Why don't you help your colleagues showing what the life is after it and guide them through this like hard time? Because I knew, like, I understand, yeah, this is hard, but you have to consider that this is like extraordinary time. It is pandemic, like certainly COVID-19 situation has been 2 long years, right? So I think, like, again, I would like to say, like, just help your community in need, right? Help them, guide them, show them the way. One of the things that I also realize, I also feel like that most of the people that passed before me never told me how the life is gonna be after becoming a dentist, right? Nobody ever told me. So I'm like everyone I'm just meeting, I say, why you are like not giving your equivalency process? Why not started? And I have 2 of my friends who came with me, but they never tried it. And now I just like keep talking to them. I motivated them, and they finally start taking the course, and they are. Because I say, seriously, whatever you are doing, with all that effort that you are doing, why don't you give that effort to the exam? Because in the end, once you get your license, it's gonna be a better life than most of the things, right? So it's not, I won't say there will be huge amount of money or this and that, but it's a better life. It's a better life for sure for what we are doing. So every effort, every penny, every little minute is worth the effort. Believe me, this is the thing I just want to tell you. Again, I know pandemic, everything, this is hard. I've gone through this. You are going through more. I agree. I agree financial part, but you have to find a way out. Not everything is ideal, and there's no such thing as an ideal world, right? So yeah, we have to face it. So we have to face it. I know like there are people who even like gone through the equivalency. There were people unlucky, like in the day before the exam, the OSCE at University of Toronto cancelled, and there were people like who passed the exam in December. Somehow, because of the technical issues, their profile wouldn't transfer to the newer profile, couldn't get registered for the OSCE in May. Then pandemic came, March. Then pandemic came, May OSCE got cancelled. Then they were registered in November at University of Toronto. University of Toronto single-handedly the night before the exam, a night, I'm telling you a night, like 8 p.m., the email, we are not taking the exam tomorrow, right? They had to wait then another March. So they passed the exam in December 2019, got the result in Feb, passed. Because of the technical glitch, cannot give the exam in May, then got exam cancelled, right? Then they were registered for November, cancelled. Then they just appear like it. They almost wait 1.5 years just to give the OSCE exam. So there are some time the things is not in our hand. So whatever it is in our hand, and yeah, just like if you are facing those, you should speak up. This is an organization for you. You should speak up. No, because then the authorities and everyone gonna know about it. Okay, yeah, these are the challenges. There's substantial amount of people that are affected by it. Then they will start looking order. You have to tell your story, right? So you have to like contact everyone. And when I was there, I knew I've been doing this. Like I was talking to my MP at my area, and I talked to him, and I knew like I had one of my friend. So there are people like that too. Why I'm like telling you a story. Don't want to take name. I talk about all this struggle and everything, right? And I said this is a tough process. We don't have any funding. We are spending. We are getting like odd jobs and everything. I was listening. And he was saying, okay, I'll just talk to you because it's very nice to meet you. And yeah, you have like, I'll definitely share those stories with and everything. When he went to the next, he was a dentist, again in the AFK. And he said, whatever he's talking is rubbish. I feel this is very confident and everything is fair. And I don't feel like it. And I was like, seriously? So, like if you have that sort of disparity between the candidate, maybe he was afraid to speak. He was like, he gonna get his chances hindered, or like maybe the authority won't, so he just wanna say, yeah, no, he's happy and everything is good. I was like, man, listen, thing doesn't work. Why did you interfere in the middle and you said that thing when you are also like feeling? And I was so pissed off. But he said that, and I was like, you know what's gonna happen? This MP, I engaged him for 30 minutes. I talked to him so much about him. Now he's gonna think this guy was the one who was like every time complaining about the thing. And because you said all those things, that you don't have any complaint, you feel everything is good, and this is only his side of his story, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And so what, are you happy doing security job? Are you happy doing that job? Are you happy to wait and everything? And then he advances. But if you cannot speak, rather stay quiet than speak positive about the. If there's something like, it's not about positive, negative, it's about what you are facing, you have to tell them. There's no harm in, and believe me, Canadian culture is like all open communication. Even when I had some issues with NTB, I was always actively emailing them. And they were always listening. So I know like they are very receptive to all the things they have. I know like, there are certain situations, remember it's pandemic, there are certain situations that's not even in their hand. things work differently. They are trying also. They're again building a new facility for ACS as one of the thing. You have to look for them because they are not dependent. Because when you have to consider ACS, you have to also consider the NDB is dependent on third parties. It is a university when they will allow because they have their student too. So there's only certain time frame when the university can allow their clinics to conduct the exam. That's why NDB is making, so things are there in their mind, things are moving forward. But if you want to make it fast paced, you have to speak up. Yeah. Things will get better compared to what it was there in 2015. Things are better now. There's no more third attempt. There's a second chance for going through equivalency process again. We start looking for positive. You can take the negative from it. Like I know financially it's very hard, but you still have another chance to get it again. 5 years unlimited attempt. I don't think anybody now can fail the ACS because 5 years is more than enough time. Even the dumbest of the people who's in like a skill can clear that exam because 5 years you can master everything. You can master from the scratch. Even if you like bring a person who has never worked as a dentist, like fresh graduate, never touched thing, he can like master those skills in 5 years time.
Yeah, I agree. And
because I don't see anyone now failing the ACS. They might fail, yeah, 1 attempt, 2 attempt, 3 attempt. I don't think after that anybody gonna fail. Then they're gonna be passed. Yeah. But why go for third attempt or fourth attempt? Try your best from the first attempt. That's another thing, and that's where become the mental health and your positive energy and your positive attitude matters.
Yeah, and to speak more about kind of the advocacy and reaching out to political representatives, we're actually having a lot of success doing that. They're responding positively.
Yeah, because they do. That experience I had like 5 years back. Yeah. They do. But yeah, there were certain people too there. Like they were telling different stories, so they were confused which one to follow.
Yeah. No, but like for us, the major hurdle is convincing people to contact the representative. Once people contact representative, most of them respond positively.
Exactly. So, and there's no harm. It's not gonna hinder any of your chances for passing the exam. That's not gonna happen. This is very fair, and this is not you are talking against anyone. It's just you are like identifying, making them identify the barrier you are facing, right? What are the hurdle that's in their way? What's affecting your mental health? And they should know like there's a lot of trained dentist communities right in the Canada waiting for their chance, already prepared, gone through 60 or 75% of the process, but just waiting for their like chance to get a spotlight and just come into the market. So no, there's no harm in telling. So you don't have to be afraid because I'm one of those people who just always speak up. I just like if I had issue, I was always emailing NDB, and to be very honest, I have to say there were people who were telling me don't email NDB, don't email NDB. They're gonna note your number. That's not happened. They are one of the nicest people to reply. They never say no to and like they never say never reply. It's never like that. They never reply, right? They always reply. They come up with whether you agree with their whatever they reply, but they always reply back to you. Yeah. And see, like I've seen with I heard like there's a meeting that has been set with this organization. So I mean they are just listening to it, right? So this is a way forward. And it's not about like NDB. It's like about the challenges, difficulty, hurdles. And that's gonna help NDB as well, right? Because I think what I feel like when meeting with them, they're gonna realize, okay, what are the actual difficulties that ITDs are facing, and that can be addressed more specifically, right? And they know like a pinpoint, okay, these are the things we need to work on in the future, right? So that helps. And believe me, things will improve from here. It's all about, I know it's been 2 years almost now. Things gonna getting better. At least now NDB is conducting the exam in full capacity. I know it's hard like getting draw for exam, but still consider NDB this 75 spot where NDB took the draw. opens up because like it's been NDB is conducting the exam in full capacity because there were, I remember, only 79 people that appear in June because of the restriction, because 70% of the university decided not to take the exam. Were like 3 universities decided, and they decided to take the exam in limited capacity, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is the thing. And one thing just I want to show is, I have one of my students that come to me for the work check. So NDB did everything. Now you know what happened? She was registered at one of her university like in BC. So she registered for orientation, and they said their orientation is closed. They don't have a spot. And I also I didn't understand. You are registered with for the exam over there. How can the spot is closed because you are already registered? And that's what the reply she got. So it's again, this is not now NDB, this is the university. Somehow they decided to open just limited number of spot. And I will say, why don't you email NDB and tell them you need to have an orientation at the center you are giving, and the university is saying they're not going to have enough spot because the spot has been closed. Doesn't make any sense. So not is everything we blame for NDBs, NDB writes the universities. And that's where I say like NDB is also dependent on third parties for conducting these exams. So this is one of the challenges which they are addressing. We might hear an update soon about that thing, about the facility where NDB gonna conduct. So keep your finger crossed, and things gonna get better. It's now a matter of time, maybe 6 months, 7 months, but we're gonna have a clear path where we're gonna go. So I know it's already 2 years has been gone, so just wait another. And I know it's tough. There's a backlog, but things gonna get better, and things are improving now. With the COVID, vaccination, everything, I think vaccination for children is gonna be approved and they are like within a 1 month or 2. So everything's gonna get better.
Well, we're meeting with the NDB next week, and we're going to bring up all these issues, and we'll see what their response is.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they can't ignore, these points.
Yeah.
So I'll going through the questions. Some of them are kind of ACS specific, like how you would do projects. Like one question was about full metal margins. I don't know if to me I don't know to talk about specifics like that. Yeah, I think it's okay. That's not the intention of a conversation like this. But one question is working while preparing for the equivalency process. This is something that basically everyone is doing. How did you manage that, and was it difficult for you? And
again, there's no question. It was difficult. It was very difficult. So, like I told you, my credit card was maxed out, right? I have to borrow money from friend, family, took multiple loan. Like I use my immigration access fund loan. Then luckily, when I was in like ACS, when I was giving my ACS second attempt, that where the line of credit came just 1 month before my exam, and I took that, right? And I used most of it for my appeal and then paying off the credit card. So I use all my line of credit then, and I still paying my debt right now after becoming a dentist, right? So there was like huge amount of that. If you're talking, it's in thousands of dollars, right? So again, getting it hard. It was like borrowing from friend, from family, from like selling things, right? If you have like asset anyways, just sell from those. I had the children, so whatever government stuff I was getting for children, I had to sometimes use that money. I've done RESP for my daughter. And when I went for ACS, I feel bad about it, but I had to like withdraw the money from that funds, right? Because I had that account for 2 or 3 years, and there was like 5,000 and something. But when I went for like ACS, I had to pay for the course. I withdrew the money. I just broke all the money from my child's registered education saving plan, right? So there's like a ton of stories. Like I can tell you, it was very difficult. I don't know from where to start. But again, when I become dentist, I start paying back in. Now everything is good. Again, the debt is still there, but I'm paying it monthly. No issues. Now at least I have like a stable income where I can manage those. And within a year or maybe year and a half, I will pay all those debt. But yeah, but like arranging was that like hard one. But luckily for you people, because you have that CIBC line of credit, I know it's a little bit change. For first step, now they've combined this Immigration Access Fund and CIBC together. So it's like first you have to go to Windmill, they're gonna give you a loan. Then you're gonna give AFK. Once you clear AFK, CIBC gonna give you line of credit. From that line of credit, you have to pay Windmill their loan, and then you can utilize loan. So that's like a huge amount of money. Like if they are giving you $85,000 for all three, that's enough amount of money. But you have to be very calculated. Don't get you have got that money. I know like there are people, I know them. They got those money and they started spending it somewhere else for on their luxury, buying car and using and not like putting it in the ACS. So don't do like that, right? This money is for your education. Spend it wisely. Use it for the purpose. And believe me, because I had that money, I went for the appeal. Otherwise, who knows, I wouldn't. So I want to thank them because if it wasn't there, I don't know how I would ever spend the money on the appeal, because this is one of the things. I had the money, I take the gamble. Otherwise, I would have gone for, because otherwise I would have to decide between paying the fee for the third time or going for the appeal. And you know, like after listening from everyone, nobody gives you hope for the appeal, right? So, but I spent those money. I even registered for it. I took last minute for it. I think I spent 13,000-14,000 just for the appeal because I'm in Calgary. So whatever I have to do, I know I paid NDB like appeal fee $1,700. Right, I paid that one of the organization who helped me with the appeal, like I think $3,300 for preparing my appeal, and the instructor accompanying me for the typodont viewing. So that's make 5,000. Right. Again, the flights to and from Calgary, to and from Calgary to Ottawa and Toronto and Ottawa. Right. So all those like things, and then registering for the 3-month course, paying the fee for $9,000. So see how much I easily spent, like around $15,000-$16,000 at that time, right? Luckily, when I passed, yeah, I got my money back, right? Yeah, for the $9,000. They never like refund the money that you spend on the appeal, because that's a part of the process. Yeah. But in the end, I'm not worrying about the money, because at least I passed means I cleared my license. So I'm not worried about money. There are some people who still ask, "Oh, did you get the money back from the appeal?" I said, "Why do I care for that money? I'm passed, and now I don't want that money." Right, but this is the thing. So yeah, this is like the hardest part. So there's not a like a specific answer, but I would say maybe, yeah, try. You have to find your ways for looking over the money. But anyone like who had that line of credit, I would say just spend it wisely. Don't spend it for like your daily activities or daily spend. Keep it just for specifically for the equivalency process, because that's enough amount of money to let you go through at least 2 attempts for ACS and all the process. So which is enough, right? Believe me, when I started, it wasn't there. So I failed a lot. That's why from 2015, I gave my exam in 2015 February, right? So 2015, 2016, and then I gave in 2017 August. So it took me 2.5 years to come back to that process, because I was working full time, and at that time I was working 7 days a week overtime, because I had to like save the money, and that took like a toll on my health. Mentally, I was struggling. I was like, pretty much offended easily by everything, because there's so much stress mentally. I've been through those then. And again, believe me, like now I feel it. Once you are into the field, now I feel the side effect of all those struggles that it took a like toll on our body, on our mind, everything. And I knew like, oh, it made me so much weaker. Like, yeah, everything. It's not easy, but yeah, now everything is getting better, so I'm more focusing on health and everything. Even I remember like I was so busy in exams and everything because I had all my setup here in Calgary, right?
Hmm.
So it was very hard for me to go for 6 months to attend a course at prep doctors and just go there and to earn for a living, right? And again, going to I didn't have the car. I hardly had any money because I told you I took money from my RESP daughter's account, right? So when I went there, I was feeling a lot of body ache, especially on my back after the exam. When I came from prep doctor, everything, right? So I had to make my food on. I was stressed out, so much tired after doing the whole work at the lab. Taking, I know that for Toronto transit system sucks. Just for like 20-minute drive, I have to take 2 or 3 buses. Doesn't make any sense to me, right? But that's how the GTA transport system is. So I had to it took me 1 hour to reach my home, then I had to make food and everything. And I had so much back pain and everything, and I went to my family doctor and a family physician, and he had my blood work done. And never in my life I had that problem, and he did every test, and I came up with vitamin B12 deficiency. And he was like, "Are you vegetarian?" And I said, "No, I eat meat." But you know why? Because I didn't have that time. That was malnutrition. I was more focused on ACS. So I was like, from where should I buy the food? No, I don't have time. I don't have car. So I was just making. And in the end, I was so much stressed out about the exam. I started overlooking it. So I had that thing. And for 6 months, they gave me, like, I was prescribed a vitamin B12 injection every month. And it took me 1 year to come back to normal. But that what like ACS took. So that's what I'm like, it took. And again, I'm like talking about there are people who have family already in GTA. But for me, it does because I couldn't afford to bring my family there in Toronto. I just like book a share residence. They are like, again, disadvantages to that. You can't like freely make food. You're set in time. They are making food. Again, it was share residence with different people. It was hard for me. I never lived in a shared residence with 3 people sharing the room, like there's a one room but sharing a space with 3 people. It was hard for me and everything. And then I was waking up in the morning, going to the center, taking my toolkit along with them. Right, all the lockers were already booked by doctors. I didn't have the locker, so I have to carry all those stuff and then practice and go back and make the food and then eat. So I can make food only one time, so eat just at the night. In the morning, do breakfast, maybe eat some fruit in the afternoon. So in the end, I realized that for all malnutrition and everything, right? But that's what happened.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
but now everything is fine. So it's not like you talk about it, it's everything that has taken a toll on my body. It's
Yeah.
from like physically, financially, mentally. That's why this process is not easy. My whole purpose of talking to you is that I've gone through a lot. I know you guys are going through a lot. But this is what we have to show we are resilient people, and this is what it means. Sharing all my stories frankly with you, every word is true, but to show you, see how much resilient we are. And if I can do under those circumstances, like my family life struggle, my family suffer because of it, right? But in the end, I appreciate for all the suffering. They helped me, they stood with me, right? So I didn't have to face that. They were like one of the strongest pillar with me. They are like motivating me. They know, like, yeah, he's near to it. Is my wife, my daughter, my mom, my brother. They were all there to help me out.
Yeah.
And financially, when I don't have the money, I ask him, and he helped me out.
Yeah, and for the people who don't have that family support, we're trying to create that community.
Exactly, and that's what the thing has come to this. Even it's not about like don't you ever try to like say you have to speak only like with the NDB issues. If you have that struggle, come and speak over here. You might get answer because you get the same minded people. You hear their story, you say, "Oh, you are not alone." That's another like motivation gift that you are not alone in this path. There's so many people, and then everybody because like see talking, there's a stigma people don't talk about it, right? So I just like come and talk about it, talk because once you speak, you're gonna feel, oh yeah. you're gonna feel light, and that's gonna help you because mental health is very important. And
Absolutely.
now I realize, because once you come to the profession, there's always a stress mentally of like, because there's always a liability, right? You get dentist, you have to get a liability coverage of like at least $2 million, or I think $3 million, like this, which is a requirement. Then again, you have to make sure all the paperwork is the consent has been done, all notes has been done. There are certain people looking for some like loophole, so you have to be aware of that and everything. But again, this is a stressful job, right? So you have to try to find a ways how to make it like do this job like with fun, lightly, and making sure you are not compromising
Yeah.
the patient, right? So that's what about it. And same thing with me. Go through the ACS, go through everything, but don't compromise your health. Because in the end, after all, health is everything. If your health is good, you're gonna go through it. So don't compromise your health. I know it's hard, but there's always a way you have to find. For me, there was always at every different stages. I gave one exam. I say I never had the money for the second exam, and I was like, okay, we'll think about it when it comes. And there was always a way somehow to create that. There was so much debt at my first time ACS. I was like, I just only have whatever I had. I spent everything. If I don't clear it in my first attempt, that's it. Then for me, I have not had the money, and I might not do it again. And then the CIBC line of credit came in, right? Helped me a lot with everything.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got line of credit, once I clear my exam, I start. First thing I did was whatever money I borrowed from my everyone, like my brother, mother, friends, everyone, I start giving them back.
Yeah.
I said, "This is your money. Thanks for helping me out." Yeah. And once I see that debt in my current line of credit, I said, "Oh, it was this a huge amount of money. It was in thousands of dollars, right?" But
Yeah.
that's how it is. Then I realized how much I borrowed. I never realized that.
Yeah, it adds up.
That's add up. But the thing is, once you get the license, you can pay it easily within maybe 1.5 years. It's not that big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which tells that life is good. You're gonna earn enough, so you're gonna be living a good life. I won't say it's a fancy, you're gonna have like so many big things, but it's good. It's not bad. And I've never seen anyone getting a license and not getting job or doing security or odd job after getting a license. I've never seen anyone. But I've heard stories from other people. They say, oh, they have a friend, he told this. And I said, this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
don't listen. It doesn't happen. But I haven't seen anyone like getting a license not practicing.
No. No.
Otherwise, what's the point of putting all those efforts?
No, you're right. Life is good after people finish the process, and they need to hear that. For those bad days when their back hurts
Yeah,
or they're
exactly. And
looking
that's
at,
what the whole point is like.
yeah,
Again, like this is like personally, I'm not sharing a lot more detail. You've seen the post. I want to thank also like all the people because the response we got that post was like tremendous, wonderful. But the whole purpose was this too because we realized me and Luca, we were talking and we realized there are like a lot of people. Okay, every part has been done, but there's like a element of motivation that people need to know that they are not alone. And there are some people, so sharing all my story was like the part of that process that, like it's not you, it's everyone. It's me just sharing my story. But if you ask anyone who have done the equivalency, if you contact them and ask for their story, you're going to heard of similar sounds, sort of stories. There's no one who had done it without the struggle, no one. Everybody had their unique stories.
yeah. Yeah, well, we kind of went through everything. I went through the questions that were online. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah,
Any
I would
final
say
words?
stay motivated, keep focus. I know it's hard, but this time will pass, right? So, particularly for those people who are just at ACS, you have wait now at least 2 years. Hang on there still for 1.5 years and things will get better. You are almost there. Don't lose hope. I know it's hard. Maybe find friend, talk to your family member, talk to your friend who are in the same process. Like, come up to this organization, make this as a family, and talk about it, because you have to break this mental health, this stigma of not speaking up, right? You have to be like mentally very sound when you go to the exam, right? So don't let all those negative thought and like the struggle of the process and waiting time and the frustration get in your head and affect your progress within the process. You are this close, and believe me, I'm saying it again and again. If I can do it, no wonder you can't. Everybody can do it. I'm just as normal as you people. Like I told you, maybe average student, maybe below average student. If I can do it, I never thought about it when I came to this process. I never had that confidence because I was low in confidence. I was like, this is a tough process, man. I would never do it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm here. I have done it. Yeah, it took me 2 attempts. I'm never afraid of telling everyone. For every exam, it took me 2 attempts. But it is what it is. In the end, nobody gonna ask you like how many attempts did you it took for you to clear those exams. Nobody gonna ask.
Yeah.
In the end, all that gonna be asked is, have you cleared the equivalency process? Yes, and you're gonna get the job.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's okay. It's excellent. So, yeah, for everyone that's listening, here is an example of what life is awaiting you once you complete the process. And I hope you guys take that and use that as motivation to keep going through the difficult time. So, Dr. Zuhaib, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for providing the opportunity and sharing my stories with all the ITDs community over there.
You are very popular, and I'm sure you could see why. So thank you very much. I appreciate you taking your time to speak to us, and look forward to talking to you again.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to you again. If you have anything come up, maybe if people have like some specific question to ACS, so we can maybe plan that at another time. If you see like from the feedback of the people they want to ask about the project, because I am somehow helping some student. If you are like feel like there's a need of it, okay, according to the response, we can do those and we can take those ACS specific question.
Yeah.
Maybe if you are like willing to do another session anytime in the future, if you have that feedback, so I'm always open to it.
I'll see. I'll gather the specifics and see kind of the areas, and if there's enough of a demand, I'll see if you're willing.
Yeah. And anyone's like need advice, always feel free to reach. Maybe just inbox me if you have like anything to speak about mental and need motivation. Yeah, but otherwise, whatever it is, you can see the recording, and hopefully you're gonna get motivation, because there's always, this is not a like simple ride. It's a roller coaster bumpy ride where there's like lot of like up and down. So that's how it is, and that's how it's for everyone. So I hope like I wish all you all the best, and specifically people who are waiting for ACS. And I hope you'll get you people get a spot to appear for the ACS exam. And yeah, and I hope everybody of you clear in the first attempt, hopefully. And all the best to everyone waiting in the process.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.